Vandaag hebben we een Zuid-Afrikaanse atleet, advocaat en daarnaast een vastgoedinvesteerder aan tafel. Jordan Mechelen.
Ja, samen met de Nederlandse Radna, de eigenaar van Sport Horses Holland. En haar droom is om ooit zelf de Grand Prix te rijden.
En we leren ook wat Spaans vastgoed te maken heeft met de paardenbusiness.
Ja, en onze titel is al in het Engels, dus ook de podcast is in het Engels.
We are very excited. Daarom, deel deze video, zodat je meer video's krijgt om te leren investeren in vastgoed, maar ook je vrienden, dat die dat ook gaan zien.
Ja, a conversation about creating and maintaining wealth. And what do you get when you mix horses and real estate? And why real estate in Spain offers such an incredible investment opportunity today.
This and more in the Great Life Stories podcast. Frank.
Ja, Pieter.
Heb je iets met paarden?
No, I have nothing with horses, Peter. We have to communicate in English
Oh
today.
yeah, that is true, eh? Because we have Jordan here on the table. Hello, Jordan.
Hey guys.
Welkom Jordan, welkom Radna.
Thank you.
Ja, wij kunnen Nederlands praten.
Ja, dat zou kunnen. Ja, ik kan ook een beetje Nederlands praten.
Ja, because South African.
Yeah, there we go. So it's definitely easier for me to learn English, Dutch.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'd prefer the podcast to be in English.
Because you were born in South Africa? Or?
I was born in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and in South Africa we learn Afrikaans in school, which has been described to me as some sort of baby Dutch.
Yeah.
Simple Dutch.
It's a Dutch lookalike.
Yeah.
And now you live in Holland, or what are you doing these days? You're an athlete, you're a lawyer.
I'm a retired athlete.
The retired
I'm a
athlete.
retired athlete, and I moved to Europe about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I worked on a super yacht. I don't know if you see those big yachts that come through the canals.
Monaco.
Yeah, I was in Monaco for a while.
Okay.
So
Here, look at this. Is this your yacht?
that was the first boat I worked on, yes.
Really?
Wow,
We see a
fantastic.
picture here of a big yacht. I think this is Monaco.
Last week I saw a documentary on RTL Z
Yes.
about living in luxury.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was all about super yachts.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's unreal.
That's one of these.
It is truly a hotel on the water
Okay.
with a 10-star service.
Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
it, because everybody is looking at it and thinks, how is it inside? How are the people? What are the owners look like? How are they living? How is that life?
Well, the owners are definitely truly in the 1%.
The 1% money owners.
Yeah, I think to own an asset like that.
Yes.
It costs,
Okay, so how much does an asset like that cost?
Anywhere from 150 million all the way up.
Wow.
150 million up.
150 million euros all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life is interesting. It's definitely different. You know, I've been from Morocco to the south of Spain, to the south of France, down the whole coast of Italy,
Yes.
across to Greece, Turkey, Croatia.
Wow.
So that was cool. You know, it's a lot of hard work when your owners or guests are on board. There are people working around the clock 24 hours to ensure, the service.
Yeah.
But when they get off, you're in a different country and you get to explore. You have no living expenses.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's great. It's a great way
Okay.
to save money and see a bit of the world.
But okay, let's get back to the chronological order of this, because
Sure.
you just end up on a yacht. I mean,
No.
you were born in South Africa,
Born in South Africa.
and you
I
studied law, or
I studied law.
Okay.
And then I was working as a lawyer, and I was in the same city that I was born in and raised in and studied in.
Okay.
And I was sitting there one day and I just thought, I want to do something crazy. I'm only young once.
Okay.
And let's just throw myself out of my comfort zone and let's. Also, at that time, I was already interested in property.
Okay.
And I saw this as a really good way to both travel as well as save some money that I could invest into property.
Uh-huh.
That was the initial idea.
Okay.
I have many friends in the industry, so it was really quite easy. I have a German passport, so I don't have any visa restrictions to come to Europe.
Hold on, you're South African. With Radna, we come to you in a few
Sure.
minutes. Okay, but how do you obtain a German?
My father's German.
Your father is German.
My father's German.
Okay,
So yeah, he moved to South Africa.
that explains the surname also.
Mechelen.
Mechelen.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. So you worked on the yacht, saving money
Saving money.
and investing that in real estate.
Absolutely.
Like everybody else who's having a job. Because it's a job, only it's a fantastic job.
Yes, I mean it's definitely not like the highlight reel. You know, when you go to a different country every second week or so, it's quite easy to post pictures of where you are on Instagram, and it looks amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of hard work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
sure.
it's long hours. It's a lot of hard.
Yeah.
Demanding clientele, I can imagine.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're chartering a boat for €1 million a week,
Yeah,
you expect 10-star service.
it must be perfect.
It's got to be perfect.
And you, of
Okay.
course,
Absolutely.
signed an NDA. You cannot tell
yeah,
anything
unfortunately.
about the owners.
No.
Nothing,
we
eh?
can't,
No.
Yeah, absolutely not, yeah.
But how are they living? What kind of living is it? Are they happy, for example? People
know,
who are
we-
so rich?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if I can speak for their happiness. They definitely do whatever they want to do. You know, I mean, it was like flying in on a private jet, weekend on the boat, flying out here. So, you know, going fishing and going going all over the world, doing really whatever they wanted.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they're happy, but they're certainly living an extraordinary life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think they realize that themselves, that it's extraordinary?
My last boss was actually self-made.
Okay.
So you can see that he still very clearly remembers what it was like to be poor. He was not a wealthy man at all, and that's quite inspiring. And you can see that in the way he handles, for example, his children. You know, his children wanted every single toy in the water, and it's a lot of work blowing up sea toys, and it takes a lot of work. And, you know, then 5 minutes later, she's like, I don't want the sea toys anymore. And then her dad, like, will make her pack it up with us, you know,
Yeah,
to, like,
yeah.
teach her that, okay, you know, if that's what you want, you know, there's consequences. You can't just,
Right.
you can't, yeah. So that was quite nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you learn anything from them of life? Did it change your thoughts about how to live in this world?
I don't know if I ever want to be in a position where one of my assets has 50 people working for me, all running around for one person.
Yeah.
But I do like the way that they're able to do, you know, what they want, when they want, with who they want. That is quite appealing.
Did it
I-
change
I-
your
I-
view
I-
on life by being around these people? Because it's,
No, I don't
No?
think it did. No, I don't think it did. It's no, I don't think it did.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So, Radna, you're also on the table. But that is an interesting story. But you have an interesting story yourself.
Yeah, well, I
big-
didn't work on a super yacht.
No, but
No,
you,
but we do see a picture here of you riding a super horse.
Yeah, yeah.
a super horse. And not a super yacht, but a super horse. But that are very expensive horses also, eh?
Yes, yeah. I'm actually in a lucky situation to have good horses.
How is that lucky situation coming to you? And how does it look like?
Well, I started riding when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
And I always thought I wanted to do something with horses. But my parents were a bit hesitant because they thought, like, you cannot really earn your money with riding horses, so you better just go and study. So I ended up studying Emma. I actually came from Amsterdam area, and I went all the way to Emma to do my study there.
Okay.
While all my friends studied in Amsterdam, of course.
Yeah.
You went to Emmen?
Emmen.
Emmen.
Twente.
Oh, I'm not smiling, but that's in the east of Holland, eh?
Yeah, it's not really a particular student city at all.
No, but it's a horse city or so.
Well, I studied commercial economics, horse business management, and that was the only place that had that study.
All right.
So I moved with my horse there and
Okay.
studied there.
I'm
And-
curious about the rest. Where are we going? So what happened?
So after I had my internship at KLM Martinair at the horse transport. So there I already saw like how many horses were actually exported from this country. And yeah, at one point I was working at the stable and I rode like 8 or 10 horses a day. And I
You worked
at a stable.
at the stable, but you worked 8, 10 horses a day.
Yes.
How does it look
How do
like?
you work a horse?
You work a how? You work a horse.
No, I like ride the horses.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes?
Yeah.
8, 10 a day.
Yeah. So like
train them.
non-stop. Yes, to train them.
Okay.
And at one point I realized that I didn't really enjoy it anymore because it used to be my passion.
Yes.
And now it became like work and it was just a bit too much. So I wanted to have a better mix, and I started my own company 5 years ago. And yeah, now I sell sport horses all over the world, actually.
Yeah, but I hear horses of tons of dollars.
Yeah, it can be expensive horses. I mean,
And you are doing that, running that business.
yes, I mean horses start like because I'm also an agent, right? So mostly clients come to me from abroad, and they ask me to look for a suitable horse for them. So I drive them around in Holland, and we find a suitable horse. So in that case, I'm more of a agent, like a broker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the same for houses, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You're the estate agent for
yes,
horses.
Yes, it's very similar. Nowadays, I also sometimes buy the horses myself, train them further, and then resell them. And then I also teach clients and also abroad. So it's for me now a mix in selling, training, and teaching.
Yes.
So now I ride like 2 or 3 horses a day, and for me this is a way better balance also. Yeah.
Very
where does
passionate
that-
business, eh?
Where
Yeah.
does that passion come from?
Yeah.
You've
Well,
been raised with horses, or
well, yeah. I started riding at a very young age.
okay?
My sister is also into horses. My parents are not into horses at all.
Okay.
Are they entrepreneurs, maybe?
They are, yes.
They are.
Yes.
Did you learn anything from your parents to do a business like this?
Well, especially that I actually didn't want to have my own company, because I saw them always working like really hard and like long hours, and I thought by myself, I really don't want that. But now I'm an entrepreneur myself.
Yes.
So,
And how is that?
well, I try to mix it up with traveling, for example. So when I go abroad to teach clients, I also enjoy my time traveling, and so I found a really good balance in enjoying what I do.
Wow.
Yeah,
Everything you do is what you like.
yeah.
That is the
basically
best
it is.
business.
Yes.
Life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, I mean, earlier you said, Jordan, about a self-made man. One of your bosses was a self-made
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But you're a self-made woman,
That's
so to say.
I tried my best, and I didn't expect it to become the company like it is today. And I didn't really know what I started. And the first half year of my business was quite tough, because you invest a lot of time and money, and you don't necessarily get that back immediately. But after half a year, I got my first paying client.
Okay.
And from there on, the network has just grown, and now it comes by itself. You know, now people are just contacting me. Hey, I'm looking for a horse, or hey, a friend of mine bought a horse with you. Can you please help me too? So yeah, that's
Fantastic.
You must have something unique then in that, because that business is a small business.
Yeah.
You need to be very good
Yeah.
and quality of the horses.
Yes. So I always my biggest goal is to find the right horse for the client. I
What-
would never sell them a horse that doesn't fit them.
What is the right horse for a client?
Well, they need to have the right connection, right? Because you need to have a good feeling with the horse. You need to be able to click with the horse. So that's why you also try out several horses to really find the right one.
What is a client? Is a client a person who is riding the horse, or is it also an investor?
It can be both, but mostly it's a private person that's looking for a horse. Mostly it's people that have been saving a lot of money for a while.
Yes.
To be able to find that right horse that I have been looking for. And yeah, it's quite nice to help them
So
with
what
that.
kind of questions? I mean, the only animal that I really know is my cat. Okay, that's all I've never thought about, what are the kind of unique selling points then for you selling a horse to a client? How does that work?
Well, of course, clients come to me and they have criteria that they look for. So they give me which age they're looking for, like if they want to have a young horse and educate them themselves, or if they want to have an older horse that's already educated, so they can have it as some sort of schoolmaster.
Okay.
Mostly, I mean, they want to compete the horses. So sometimes they also ask, of course, for the results that the horse has had already. So yeah, it can be anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you find those horses? Are they in a newspaper or do?
No, it's mostly more exclusive horses that are not really officially on the market, like the off-market deals.
Yes, really? Yeah,
Find
because
off-market horses.
Yes. I mean, I've built up a network now, so I know who to call and
it's all about the network. That's what you say.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Wow.
really is.
Hey, and then your dream is to take part in the Grand Prix.
Yes. Yes, for now on, the horses I've had, like when they go well, they get sold. That's the way it is right now,
Yeah.
because I've been investing quite a lot in my business, and I still will do that to continue growing. But I hope one day I will come at a point where I can say, okay, I really like this horse. I have to click with it, and I don't want to sell it to a client. I will just keep
Your
it
dream
for myself.
horse.
Yes.
And then you want to do this, but because it's outdoor riding, isn't it?
It's both outdoor and indoor.
Yeah, but it's through the woods and.
No, not really. Actually, most of the horses I sell are dressage horses. So it's actually the Olympic level, dressage.
Okay.
So I do both dressage, sometimes some jumping horses as well, but mainly dressage horses.
Oké, dressuur.
Ja.
Frank,
Ja, Pieter.
ik heb jaren pony gereden. Ja, echt waar, dat wist je nog niet van me.
Geen
So
idee.
maybe-
Eerste keer dat ik het hoor.
Ja, precies. We never talked about horses, Frank and myself.
Never, no.
He never knew I was driving ponies.
So you could have ended in this business too.
Yeah, absolutely.
See.
First I started with a Shetland, then I had a Welsh,
Oh, wow.
and New Forest was the last one.
Oh, really?
You're a farmer.
Yes, I am a farmer.
You are a farmer.
I was a farmer.
Okay.
But not anymore.
Okay. And you had horses on your farm, or?
My grandfather always had horses in the farm,
Wow.
so I have stables in still where I'm living.
Yes.
But there is only furniture in the
Oh,
stables
this is
now.
the back of the...
In the back of the
the back
stable.
of the big shed.
Yes, there are the stables.
Wow.
Yeah. So
If I may ask, when did you make the move into property, and what inspired that? What farming to property is quite a
interesting question. Yes, for me it was not my passion farming, but my grandfather and my mother was her both passion. And when my grandfather died, the farm came into the family, and nobody wanted to have it. And then my mother said, "Okay, let's do it." So I was the grandson who took over the farm.
Okay.
But my father, he was an architect. So he was very creative, and he was in real estate. So, but he died before that, so I never took that route.
Okay.
And only 7 years later, when I was farm, I was thinking, what shall I do? And then I was thinking about what is my passion, what are my talents, and later on I started in real estate.
How did you start? How did you start?
Yes. First, I really made a plan. I wanted to do something with real estate.
Okay.
I saw that people were making money with it,
Yeah.
and I was interested in it. I loved it. I could see things, if it is good or not good. And the moment when you make a decision, then things are coming to you.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
So at one moment, I was driving and I saw this sign of for sale. And I just took in and I did an offer, and directly the first offer I got the property.
Oh, wow.
I was not prepared.
No, it must have been an overwhelming feeling. Yeah.
Very overwhelming. My mother had to pay half of it.
Good way to learn, just by doing it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I made my first money with that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Really good money. Yeah, it was a really good sale. It was a little strange because you say, how do you find a good horse? How do you find a good property?
Sure.
Yes.
And I bought this shed, farm, and it was really broken down. Everything was like done. Yeah, the rain went through the roof.
Yes.
And then I showed my mother after I bought it, and she didn't see it. And then she was looking at it and she said, "Wow," she said, "what a good deal." I said, "Why? The rain is going through the roof." She said, "No, but the foundation is still straight because you can see that on the dakgoot." Wat is de dakgoot in het Engels?
No idea.
Goeie vraag.
Yeah, the dakgoot, where the water is coming in, flowing in. Yeah, that was still straight. So the walls were straight. She said, so the foundation is good. So she had also the architectural eye on it.
Yeah.
So, but you are also in real estate.
I am, yes.
But how did you start then?
That's a good
Because
question.
you were working as a sharply dressed
So before
waiter on a super yacht, and then how you started with real estate?
So before that, in South Africa, while I was still studying, my best friend and the partner in the business that I'm involved in back home, the student accommodation, he said he read a book, and it was a South African property investing book, and he said, "Jordan, you must read this."
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I read it, and from that moment on, we were both very fascinated, exactly like you said, people making money, the way that they were making money, and the ability for property to really generate but also maintain wealth.
Yes.
Maintain
wealth.
Yeah, I think that's a key factor to real estate. It's not just generating wealth, but maintaining wealth. And I think most wealthy, successful businessmen are probably invested in property, if not to grow their wealth, but definitely to maintain their wealth.
But let's go back to how you started.
Sure. And he actually got us a job managing a businessman's real estate portfolio
Okay.
back in Port Elizabeth, where I come from. And it was very interesting. It was dealing in the lower end of the market. So he had big buildings, 100 rooms, 10 rooms a floor with a communal kitchen, communal bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the buildings he had. Another building was a student accommodation. In South Africa, there's a large part of the population that comes from the rural areas that don't have money to study and whatnot. And the government funds them to come into the city to accommodate them and to study. And
So what you have seen is a lot of strategies, and you learned from that.
you know, the biggest strategy I learned there was that the sum of the parts is often worth more than the whole. So if you
Some
can,
of the, sorry.
sum of the part
Yep.
is worth more than the whole. So renting out 3 bedrooms to 3 different people is maybe often worth more than renting the apartment out to one person.
Yes.
Or the building, for
But
example.
the building before was only for one building, and you
We rented out, we had
Rent-
110, he had 100 tenants. I mean,
Yes.
I think there was about 180 tenants that we were managing
Yeah.
as 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
And that's where we saw the opportunity, really, especially within student accommodation.
Yeah.
If a room is 9 square meters, then it can have 1 bed. It's a single room. If it's 14 square meters, it can have 2 beds.
Okay. That's what
And-
we see here on the
yeah.
screen, right? It's so this is a typical student apartment.
Yes, so it's basically rooms with a bed, a desk, and a cupboard in each room, and then communal bathroom, kitchen. You know, we have like a computer lab, a TV room.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really like a
Like
this
what we
is what
call
the-
the HMO in the UK.
Yeah.
Home,
Yeah.
with,
Homeowners.
home with multiple occupants.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So we saw this kind of opportunity, and we approached our parents. Very fortunate enough that they, were willing to help us and
same as me.
and invest in
Yeah,
us.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and we bought our first properties in 2018, and now we've got about 90 beds.
90.
90 beds.
Okay.
Yeah.
90.
90 beds. Yeah.
In 3 years.
Yeah, it happened quite quickly. Like I said, very grateful for our parents.
But what is
Wow.
the success
That we're
formula?
able-
That is your parents, of course, but is it that you have to buy good houses? And here you see a property.
So
What kind of properties do you buy for that? For those 90 beds?
they big buildings really.
Yes.
In and around actually pretty much the old city centre of
Yeah.
Port Elizabeth,
Okay.
and they're often quite derelict, so you have to renovate them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we
Is the profit always in the refurbishment?
I think it definitely helps to buy something below market value. And I think if you're buying something below market value, generally you adding value through the renovation, yes.
Yes.
I think, that comes down to vision as well. A lot of people can't see through a broken property or an area that's not so nice yet. Not
Yeah.
everyone can see that it's busy transforming and that in 5 years' time it's going to be a nice area.
So what do you because you look different at a property than somebody else looks at the property.
Yes,
Because here, if you say like, okay, this is
Definitely,
an area that's not developed yet,
yes.
then perhaps 95% of the people will say, oh, that's this property is never going to be better.
Sure.
They think it will never be better.
Exactly.
And for sure, if they don't do anything to the properties, it won't be better.
Sure.
But you say like, well, if I refurb the property and bring it back to the market, it's already better.
Yes, and it was a little bit of luck that we came across, that we happened to work for this particular businessman who had properties in the sector, and that just came to me. That was I think I learned very early on about the highest yielding properties are often not the prettiest.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I mean?
There's never an ugly property.
There's never no, especially if the numbers are there. But
Yep.
the ones that produce higher yields are often not in the best areas or not the prettiest.
Now we have Radna here next to you.
Yeah.
What is your relation between you both?
Well, we actually met last summer through a mutual friend in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I think you were on holiday there, right?
I was on holiday. I was
Yeah.
looking at where I would move after yachting. I have lots of family in Germany, and I have a very good friend here, a couple of friends here in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I was on holiday looking at, where could I kind of base myself next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so on.
Well, yeah, we started talking, and we were both actually really interested in each other's story. And yeah, he told me about his properties in Spain. And I always had the thought of maybe potentially buying somewhere elsewhere than Holland.
Okay.
And when I heard what he had and how affordable it is also, I was really interested, but I never really knew how to start, you know.
So he really motivated.
He introduced me, yes.
Yes, in real estate.
Yes. So in December, I went to visit him in Spain, and he showed me around. He showed me a couple of apartments, and I ended up buying an apartment in Spain.
No way.
Yes.
From the horses in the houses, but why real estate? Because you are a business woman.
Yes.
In horses, and now you jump
Yeah,
over to real estate?
I think it's always good to diversify. And I'm also at the stage now where I can still invest my money in horses, of course, but there are also not always good horses available. So, I also wanted to look where else I can invest my money. And property seems to be a good thing for that, right? Like to have to create a sustainable income. And
Is it very similar to buy, train and sell a horse?
It is similar.
Buy, renovate and
yes,
sell real
it's
estate?
slightly different, but you add value. I think that's what you do, and that's what I do with the horses, and that's what you can do as well with the house. Yeah.
You train the horses, and that's the adding value.
Yes.
I think vision as well. The same as it's looking at a horse and seeing potential, and looking at a property and seeing potential. It takes vision. The whole process.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where have you learned to have that vision? Because many people I speak to, they don't have that vision. They really don't see it. So where does it come from?
Yeah, well, I think, it's just you start thinking about your, like, when you retire one day, you also want to have created another income, right? And I think it's good to, like I said, to diversify and not only doing one thing, but also see what other opportunities are there in the market. And I am a broker for horses, but I may as well have been a broker for houses, right? So I don't think it's that hard to do something else as long as you see the value of it.
It looks like a pattern in your life.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Yeah?
But you talk about also looking at your retirement age. Now you're still young.
Yes.
How old are you, if I may ask?
29.
29.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the dream then? Because you're far from
Like
the age of the
yeah.
average Dutch person that will go into retirement, because they will
Sure.
hit 70 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I see already now, like sometimes it is also hard for me to see good horses leave, right? So I hope to just be at a point one day where I can decide if I want to keep a horse for myself, I can keep it. And if I create an income, for example, with property, then I have the opportunity maybe to have horses just as my passion and to not only have to do business from it.
Ah, okay.
Is there any passive income in horses?
A passive income in horses? I think that's difficult.
Yeah, that's difficult, eh?
I think
can you
horses
rent a
mostly
horse?
cost a lot of money.
You rent horses. Eh?
Okay, isn't that not possible? to
I
rent
I don't
rent
think
horses?
it really would create enough value to. I mean, the cost of a horse are also quite high, and also the risks involved. I mean, a horse can also get
Well,
sick.
maybe a
or-
leasing company for
Yeah,
horses.
yeah.
Maybe we have a new idea here.
Sounds like an
Who
idea.
knows? Yes. Yeah.
Because it's so expensive, people can rent a horse from you.
Yeah.
Is
who
that a
knows?
business in horses or not?
It is sometimes, but it's mostly about horses that are already performed on a higher level, and people lease them. But the difficult thing is that you don't have control over what this person does with the horse, right? So if it doesn't take care of it well enough, or it rides it a different way, and you will get back your horse, it can be totally different. So most people don't really.
No.
want
And
that.
horses get old, die,
Yeah.
and you need to start again. And
Yes.
houses, they stay.
Yes,
There we go.
exactly.
Yep.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Is that the objective for you both, to build a portfolio of houses, of property? Is that what the objective is?
Definitely, property, doing what I do now enables me to wake up every day and to do something I truly enjoy. And I think that in itself is freedom. Because waking up every day and doing something that you don't like for money, I think is really the opposite of freedom. So it's more, it's not that there's an end goal of I want to retire by this age, or I want so many properties. I'm trying to enjoy my process. I'm trying to enjoy the process of accumulating and growing a portfolio, and then diversifying within property, flipping or buying, renovating, selling, long-term holds. There's different, student accommodation, holiday accommodation.
But also a variety of locations,
a
because South
variety of-
Africa,
absolutely.
Spain, we just learned.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and hopefully Holland
Hopefully, Holland.
in the
Okay.
near future. And that's also something that You know, when I think about the life I'd like to create for myself, I would love to be able to be doing property deals in Spain, Holland, and South Africa. You know, if I can escape the really cold winter in Holland, I'd be a happy man.
Exactly.
You know,
And many with you, I think, because that's
absolutely.
yeah, that can be very cold and wet.
I like the question you asked, though, and I'd like to ask you the same question. Obviously, you're in a different position in your life as we are. What is your goals with it? You asked Radna. What is
Very good. Yeah, see, my goals are being able to create that same opportunity for as many people that I can find that would like to start this but don't know how. And that's what we're doing with Great Property Experience.
Yeah.
Because it's really a shame that we teach or have our children being taught a process where they are being enslaved to money.
Absolutely.
And that's the route. That's what everybody
Yeah.
just takes for, that's what it is, you know. So
Yeah.
what alternative do we have?
Yeah.
And I think investing in real estate creates that alternative.
Yes.
From a very young age, people can start.
Absolutely.
So they don't have to be stuck in a 9-to-5 job until
Sure.
they're 70
Sure.
for the sake of earning a little bit of money.
Sure.
By also having the opportunity to make money and create freedom for themselves and still
Exactly.
work.
Yes.
Because people love,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yes.
working is, I think it's lovely to put your time and effort into something, but then put it into something that you're passionate about
Sure.
and that you really enjoy, because
Yeah.
then your
Sure.
environment will also
Absolutely.
be benefited from your enjoyment
Yes.
and your effort and your time being spent.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that gives
but-
fulfillment, right?
That gives fulfillment,
yeah.
absolutely.
One can even argue, is it even then work all the time?
Yeah.
You know, I no longer, I don't clock watch, I don't look forward, I don't crave the weekend and dread Monday,
Exactly.
you know, and I don't want to retire. I want to buy properties until you know, I'm in a wheelchair.
No, I had it.
I really do.
So true. So
Do you need a
true.
vacation also in between, or is vacations also something like moi?
No, well, I mean, I think that you know, that's exactly it. If I can get to the point where I do a buy, renovate, and sell somewhere that makes me a good enough money to take a month somewhere else, that would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, then you can have so-called mini retirements.
Yeah.
We call it also mini-vakantie. It's only one day, and then
Yeah.
you're done.
Sure.
Well,
That
I
was
try
really
to
funny.
combine that actually.
You combine it.
Yes, because I sell my horses all over the world. So
Yes.
sometimes if I know it's a horse that, or if my clients need some help with it, because also often when it's to counties where there's also a lack of knowledge, I try to fly with the horses, and I help them starting up with the horse.
Yes.
So I teach them abroad. So, for example, I have clients in Bali. And for me, that's a perfect holiday destination as well. So I
fantastic,
combine it. I teach them.
You choose your clients where they are living.
No, I choose who to help further. Yes.
Yeah.
But,
No, but that's, I think, so funny. You know, yesterday I had a very lovely barbecue in the afternoon.
yeah.
But in the morning, I prepared a tax-saving strategy webinar.
Oh,
And it was fascinating, you know, to see that the enjoyment of, you know, just preparing that webinar and then having the barbecue, but with people stuck in a day job.
sure.
Yes.
So they told me, "Why are you always talking about work?" I said, I said,
It's not work.
I'm talking about what I did this morning, you know,
Yes.
which I really enjoy doing.
Yes.
And then, so I said, "But what do you do?" You know, I asked the gentleman, what, he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't like to talk work on my day off." I said,
Exactly.
I said, "Wait a minute, so, okay, today's day off, so you don't work, but you do live your life today
Yes.
and yesterday and tomorrow." So
Yes.
he said, "No, I maintain a perfect work-life balance," he said.
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
And I said, work-life, so I'm thinking, you know, work-life balance. He said, okay, so how do you balance that then? Like, what is then the, because you balance what you don't
good and the
like with
bad.
what you like.
Exactly.
And that was that was the balance.
Yeah.
I don't like this part, so we have to compensate it with the things I really like to do. So then you create that balance.
Yeah.
I said, man, that's poor.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really poor thinking,
Yes.
because work-life balance, to me, it doesn't exist.
No.
You live your life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's
Absolutely.
it, you know.
Absolutely. And if you-
anyway, that was the.
If you
Oh,
think,
no.
Oh,
interesting
fantastic. That
afternoon.
is
Yes,
fantastic. And you hear it
yeah.
every day.
sure.
Yeah.
So true.
You know, if you think about most of your conscious life, when you're not sleeping, you're probably going to be working for a large part of that. So why not take the risk to do something that you really enjoy?
Exactly. Exactly. So true. And then to answer the final thing to your question,
Yes.
brilliant question, thank you, is my 17-year-old daughter, who's doing her exams now for VWO6.
Yes.
She wanted to study psychology because that's what she really liked.
Okay.
But in the schools today, they also present you your starting salary after completing your university. So they think, well, wait a minute, a psychologist doesn't make that much money. You better study economy because then you have a higher So but her passion is about the psyche, about the way people think and why they behave in certain ways and stuff like that. And then she learned through great property experience, because she's doing all the subtitles of all the movies that we produce and the interviews that we have. And she has to recheck. And so she got so much knowledge of the real estate market.
Sure.
And she's like, oh, I figured it out. I'm going to follow my passion and study psychology. And I have real estate pay for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's, I have a goosebumps because this is
Wow.
exactly why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
And that's why we want to help as many people as possible to
I think
to
what you
invest in real
guys,
estate.
I think what you guys do is amazing. I really
Yeah.
do. It's such a nice community, and I must thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I must thank you guys. Yeah, I mean, I had a client in Valencia last week, and I'm flying in 2 weeks' time with a client both that I met on your guys' Facebook group.
Really?
Thank you very much, guys.
Wow,
Thank you very much.
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So why Spain?
Yeah.
Why Spain? That's a good question.
Yeah. Because the lifestyle? Because the sun? Or is it...
That's definitely a reason of why. Yes, for me, I think no. For me, definitely affordability. You know, I'm young. I don't have
100
loads
million.
of capital. Exactly. So for me, a big reason was affordability. You know, I mean, the opportunity to buy an apartment for 65, 70,000 euros. You know, and make 500, 550
Wow.
in your pocket, or you know, at the end of the month. That was definitely attractive for me. I also believe that there's good opportunity to find. You know, in Spain, it got hit really hard by the financial crisis,
Yep.
and there was a bigger price correction.
Then here.
And, and a lot of properties in Spain, especially in the smaller cities, they need a lot of renovations and refurbishments. And you know, there was also, I think, up until about 5 years ago, maybe all confidence to invest had been halted, had been stopped. You know, you could see there's areas that no one was putting money back into. And I think since the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, you can really see that investor confidence is back. You can start to see transformations of these areas. And once again, the ability to buy something, you know, that needs renovation, that most people are overlooking.
Where can we find those areas, regions?
So I invested myself in a place called Castellón, which is between
It's
Valencia
nice place, Castellón del Casa, Castellón del
de la Plana.
de Plan.
Yeah.
It's about halfway between Valencia and Barcelona. But yeah, there's many. I think you just got to look.
But
at
why
it.
that region? Is there anything?
But yeah,
Yes. So then coming to
Good question. But then what I imagine is that you just go there, right? You just
So I think the final reason of why Spain, besides affordability, opportunity, is I have connections in Spain, and that's where they are situated.
your sourcing partners are there.
So yeah, very very good friends of my dad.
Local knowledge.
One's an architect. One owned his own estate agent company in Cape Town for 20 years, and they moved to Spain 6 years ago, and that's what they do now.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that was I wouldn't have just been able to go anywhere.
They
in
take you
Spain
on the
and
ride there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
And now they take you also on the ride.
Yes, I also ended up in Castellón.
yeah, really, eh? That's how it
Wow,
goes.
very nice.
Yeah, and actually, when I first went there, I actually thought that I was, the idea that everyone has, right? A second house in Spain, maybe a good holiday destination.
Yeah.
But when I was there, I realized that, like, the apartments Jordan showed me and the numbers, it's more like student accommodations. But I realized when I was there that that's actually financially so much more interesting. And to be able to have that and to have that income, and then you can just go anywhere in the world, right? You don't need to have that fixed place. Now I'm just able to go anywhere I want and just have a place there.
Having a house there.
Yeah.
And what are the numbers? Maybe interesting. You said 400 euros for an apartment. What cost you 65,000?
Yeah, so I mean, you can buy apartments there for 65, 75, 85,000.
Yes.
You can look at renting out to students anything from 270 to 300 euros a room.
And how many rooms in an apartment like that?
Oh, 2 or 3.
Okay.
3 rooms, yeah.
So, Frank, can you do the numbers?
So 2 times 300 is 600.
Yeah, so about 810 to 900 euros a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's above 10%.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
12,
I mean,
12%.
there are costs involved,
Yes, of course.
obviously.
Yeah, sure. So, and how do you do that? Do you do that from your personal bank account in a box 3 investment, or do you invest in Spain from?
So I think there's always two ways that you can invest in property anywhere, and one would be in your private name, and the other would be in the name of a company. And I believe as far as tax in Holland is concerned, that would depend on whether it's box 2 or box 3.
Yeah.
I believe that if it's in your private name, it will be in box 3. The tax.
But just you were telling earlier that you took clients from the Netherlands to Spain.
Sure. So
and they invest privately, or how?
yeah.
Do
So
they
they've bought properties in their own name.
in their own name.
In their own
Okay.
name.
Yeah, same for me. Like I'm not having a company in property yet. But,
Okay.
no,
Private name.
not yet.
No,
I
not
have
yet.
it in private.
And it's
name,
going
yes.
easy in Spain? You just buy a house on your name? How did it go?
Well,
practically?
Jordan helped me with everything, of course, because
Yeah?
for me it was all very new. So he got me in contact with the mortgage broker, also the legal points, and yeah, he helped me through
Yeah, and
everything.
how did
because
it go then for you? Maybe you can explain the legal. How did the legal part go? Did it go fluently?
well, I just trusted Jordan because I mean he has invested himself in properties there.
Yes.
So if it wouldn't be interesting, he would not invest his own money in it, right?
Yep.
So that gave me really the trust and confidence to invest there as well. And he put me in contact with the right people. And so because also I've heard a lot of stories in Spain that people buy things and that legally everything is not arranged well. But yeah, they just made sure that everything was okay. So.
And like cadastre and so on, that is all the same as in Holland? That it is all
No.
registered?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all registered. Obviously, there's title deeds and
Yes.
all the
Yeah.
rest. And of course,
Yeah.
you have lawyers doing a due diligence, making sure there's no debt attached to the property.
Yeah.
The seller is has
No
the legal
insurance
right to
claims and
sell
all that.
and all those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
But,
you hear those stories that you buy
absolutely.
something, there is nothing,
Yes.
nothing.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. And
Yes.
that's partly why I like spending time in Holland as well, is that I'm able to meet my clients face. I can get on a bicycle, on a train, and I can meet someone
Yeah.
and have a cup of coffee with them and have a normal conversation with them. They're not meeting
Exactly.
me online. I've had success with it's just putting a face to the business.
Because you're now having a
Mhm.
business, eh? You're not
Yes.
doing it for yourself.
So
You're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for Dutch clients.
yeah, so I had a couple of friends and colleagues
Yeah.
wanting me to help them,
Yes.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
and through my network,
Yeah.
I was assisting them with the different steps, a lawyer, a mortgage broker, the guy who can
Yeah.
do the renovations, the guy who can manage the properties. And towards the end of last year, I thought, right, I can now I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm going to do this myself.
Wow.
as a
Yeah, you're a
business.
really sourcing partner for people.
Absolutely.
for
yeah.
investors.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an estate agent,
No,
but I
definitely not.
I wouldn't say what I do is sell properties. I think what I do is I source good deals for my investors or for my clients, and I put the whole investment package together.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
so
now picture we have 100 investors interested.
Sure. Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me up.
Can you deliver properties from Spain? Can you package good
100
investment deals?
for 100 people.
Yeah.
In the next 5 years.
I think over time, sure.
Okay.
Today, no.
No.
The company is right. It's very personal, has a
Yeah.
personalized touch to it, but I do have ambitions to grow.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
Well, what you said about networking your people that's how we work also. Yeah,
Yeah.
we go
Yes.
to a country where we know the right people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how we went to England, to Germany.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we want to go in the next 5 years to
Okay.
15 countries.
Wow.
And but we also don't know where
Sure.
we land in
Sure.
in the country.
Sure.
Exactly.
We'll land with the right people
Well,
because
that's
they have the local knowledge. They are
Yeah.
trustfully, and then you work together
Yeah.
upwards.
Well, I think
Yes.
business at the end of the day is relationships. It's all
It is.
about relationships.
Yeah,
So, you're not supposed to know everything, and that's why you have partners.
Yes.
exactly. And that's the only way to build a business, because
Absolutely.
otherwise you are self-employed, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk later on about.
I'd love to.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
very
buy
cool.
first one house with one person who is following our academy or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome,
Yes.
guys.
Maybe
And we
maybe.
hash out the process and
Yeah, that'll be
Give-
great. Actually had a look into, was it the Great Capital Partners?
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
so
see the system, and I very
it's
very
really cool.
interested. Yeah, very
It's really
cool.
cool. See, and that's what the platform that we build with Great Property Experience is all about. You know,
Yes.
you have on the one side you have people that have real estate opportunities, but are lacking the funding for it.
Yes.
And on the other side, you have people with a lot of money,
And no time.
not knowing where and how to manage that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so it will
Yes.
grow.
Yes.
And situation today is obviously saving money, which is still what the government's promoting. Put your money in savings. The banks will promote it. They will promote it to put it in savings or put it into a portfolio provided by the banks. But no guarantees, bad results, frankly speaking, and a negative interest on your
Yes.
savings.
Yes. That's
So the money has
crazy.
to go somewhere, but
Somewhere,
people don't know
yes.
where it has to go. Well, if we've positioned ourselves right in the middle.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we have people that provide the properties, and they need the funding.
Yes.
And then obviously there's a strategy on how to develop your portfolio, and there's a strategy to how to create speed,
Sure.
because speed in acquiring properties below market value is often critical.
Yeah.
Now, how do and
Yeah.
that's obviously why we train people how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet with horses,
Fortunately.
but there is no passive income. If there was passive income, yeah, that would be maybe something. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Now-
And like you said, you need to have knowledge of what you do. Right?
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's, you've been doing it since 5 years old. And I think
Yeah.
when you do anything from such a young age, you just, you develop an eye that I don't believe you can learn later on in life. Not to say you can't ever learn, but I just think when you start doing something at 5 years old and you do that your whole life, there's something special to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do believe that, yeah,
Yeah, you condition yourself also for that. You
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
that's the
sure.
So we end this Great Life Stories podcast. Not before I like to know your professional athlete career in the past.
exactly.
Because
Sure.
I saw some pictures of you,
Yes, yeah.
and you're a nice looking guy here. But if I see you this picture, I don't want to have you near to me.
No.
What did you do?
So I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is like submission wrestling, no contact. You start standing up, you wrestle each other to the ground, and then you try to submit the person. And I started that when I was about 12 years old, and that then evolved into mixed martial arts. I had my first amateur fight when I was 17,
Okay.
and I was 6 wins, 0 losses.
Yes.
And my last amateur fight, I won the South African lightweight championship.
No way.
Amateur championship, yeah.
Wow.
I don't see broken noses or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
very, very grateful, very happy that
Exactly.
I,
It was a
I
good
have
time
no
to stop.
scars.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, have you ever seen any documentaries or interviews with retired old boxers?
No, they didn't go that smooth.
no. Yeah, and then I turned professional, and I had 2 pro fights,
Yes.
2-0, and
Wow.
then I just got to a point where I didn't want to continue down that route.
Why
Right.
not?
Oh, for that very
For the-
reason.
Yeah, the broken nose.
Not being able to give proper interviews after that.
Yeah, exactly.
I do attribute a lot of things like discipline, hard work, and persisting through tough times. I really do attribute a lot of that to my sporting career. It taught me a lot about that, and I'm super
Yes.
grateful for it.
Yeah.
But not to make a living out of it. As a sport, and that's really what it is. For me, it's a sport. I'm the last person that's ever going to be fighting somewhere.
No, exactly.
For me, it's purely a sport.
But that fighting attitude,
Absolutely.
that helps you in the business too, eh?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
And it's tough. I think a lot of life is hard. And the people who make it are just the people that persist through it.
Toughened up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any dreams? But
Yeah, so for me personally, one of my dreams would be to ride on the highest level in the dressage, which is Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I'm now a small tour rider, so that's one level under the Grand Prix. But yeah, you need a good horse for that, right? So
Yeah, the horse is coming.
the horse is coming for sure, yes. Yes.
Yeah, your dream?
I think at the moment I'm busy living my dream. You know, I'm in the early stages of building my dream.
And
Yeah.
what does the dream look like if you picture it? Like, does it have something specific like the Grand Prix, or does it have something else that
I
you would
wouldn't.
picture?
No, I wouldn't say there's anything specific. I do.
A yard of 100 million?
Yeah, something like that.
No. I do like the idea of having property in different countries. The ability to enjoy the best of Europe in the summer, enjoy the best of South Africa in the summer, and to do so in a way that I enjoy what I do. The way I make my money is a way that I wake up every day and I'm passionate about it. You know, and that's how I want to live my life.
Super.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. Live your life. Hè?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a saying, tijd om te leven. Hè?
Tijd om te leven.
It's time for living.
Time for
to
living.
live.
Yeah, it's time to live. It's,
Time to
Absolutely.
live.
yeah.
Now,
Yes.
not when you are financial free.
No.
You start.
Exactly.
Good.
Yes.
Sure.
So
Very good.
thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
for
much
having
for
me.
being here. Yeah,
Very
and good luck with all your dreams, and of
you.
course your horses and real estate.
Yeah, let's stay in touch. You know,
Absolutely.
because
Yes.
I'd enjoy that,
it's
yeah.
very important to create avenues for other people
I agree.
Yes.
to also enjoy that freedom of being able to do what you really want to do. So-
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Radna en Jordan, thank you so much. Kunnen we weer in het Nederlands, Frank?
Ja hoor, Pieter, je mag gewoon in Nederland.
Best goed, toch?
Ja hoor.
We zijn de hele wereld al overgevlogen, dus het Engels, dat hoef je niet perfect te spreken om ook goede zaken te kunnen doen. Toch?
Als je bij de bank aan tafel gaat, is het wel heel belangrijk om je talen goed te kennen. Want ze willen je wel serieus nemen.
Ja.
En dat is natuurlijk hetzelfde wat je ziet bij de immigrantencommunity in Nederland. Dat die moeite hebben om bijvoorbeeld gewoon een hypotheek te krijgen.
Ja,
Nou,
dat is een
zo,
ander
werkt
onderwerp.
zo werkt het andersom ook. Dat
Ja.
dus
Goed.
spreek je talen goed als je naar het buitenland gaat. Dat helpt je verder ook op je
Ja, do
vastgoedreis.
you need to have speak Spanish when you go to Spain?
I don't speak Spanish.
No?
My partners do speak Spanish.
Oh.
And yeah, that's very important, I think, when
Yes.
buying, especially in the smaller towns. Absolutely.
Exactly.
They go with you to the bank.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Critical to have success,
Very.
I would say.
Yes.
Ja.
Very.
Good.
Yeah.
Nou, dit was een Great Life Stories podcast, waarbij we de verbinding hebben gevonden tussen paarden en vastgoed.
Paarden en vastgoed
Ja.
en de verbinding gevonden tussen Nederland en Spanje. En misschien zelfs wel Zuid-Afrika in de toekomst. Dit was de Great Life Stories podcast. Mijn naam is Pieter Monsma.
En ik ben Frank Bakker.
Tot snel.
Hoi, hartstikke leuk dat je keek naar de video van Great Property Experience.
Wil je nou alles weten van financiële vrijheid door middel van investeren in vastgoed?
Abonneer dan hier.
Druk op de bel. Tot snel.